That's not a video. All right, the video's not playing, so you know what? We're just going to go ahead and get into it. I'm clicking on it. It's not going. So you know what? To hell with it. We'll just go and riff the way we should, because this game was a testament to the nonsense that is. This team is inept. The defense looked good, and that was about it. Special teams allowed them to have short fields the entire game. The defense went out there and played their heart out, and the offense effectively ripped it directly out of their chest, in my opinion. And we'll go ahead and get into that. I'm heated, as you guys can all see. So we'll just roll with that for now. But guys, this is brought to you by all of our sponsors: PLB Sports Entertainment, Picasso's Pizza. Shout out to all of our guys. But you got, one of you guys go ahead and take over for just a second, because I am gonna go off.
I mean, it's DM3 here, founder of builtinbuffalo, alongside Akeem Merchant's co-founder of builtinbuffalo, and my guy Izzy. So I had to make a little special guest appearance on the post-game show. This right here from Ismail. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're frauds, but me and Izzy were talking before we came on. Like, I think we've stopped having a list of who we can blame at this point, right? Josh Allen tonight was terrible. Let's call a spade a spade. I'll take a saying from Akeem. Josh Allen tonight was terrible. You can't even turn around and hand the ball off to James Cook. The interception that he threw trying to get it to Deontay Hardy, like, what are you looking at? Ooh. And then let's talk about, and I want to talk about this for a minute. The final drive for the Denver Broncos. Sean McDermott got hired, like Akeem would say, do what got you hired, right? Why are we blitzing when the team that is trying to get into field goal range has no timeouts? This is like 13-second PTSD all over again. Like, you drop 7 or 8 in coverage and let your 3 defensive edge, tackles, whatever, linemen try to make a play, right? Try to contain Russell Wilson the best they can. But no, you put Taron Johnson on an island with Jerry Jeudy. Say what you will about Jerry Jeudy, like, whatever. You put your defensive back in a horrible situation. Okay, fine. That happened. The Broncos get to a place where they're going to kick a field goal. Oh, they missed it. The Bills survived. Nope. 12 men on the field. Why are you substituting on a blocked field goal attempt? That's coaching. I'm sorry. That's coaching. We could talk about the offense all we want and how inept they've been for the last month. But this tonight was a lot on coaching. Akeem, what do you think, man?
Yeah, we're looking at the New England Patriots and what's going on right now, and they're talking about getting rid of Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick has won a number of rings over there. Bill Belichick is probably the greatest coach in NFL history, and they're talking about getting rid of him. So you mean to tell me that Sean McDermott and staff should be safe when you have 12 men on the field and they was trying to set up their field goal kicker in the best position possible the previous 3 plays, so you knew what they was doing. So you should have been prepared for the moment as soon as it happened, and you wasn't? It's unbelievable. What's going on with the blitz packages all season? That the last blitz that we've got home on was the best one all season. Other than that, we've been blitzing defensive backs all season for no reason. I don't understand what's going on with the coaching staff and everything now. Everything is unraveled before our eyes in this very game. In certain games, it was this or it was that. In this game, it was everything. You had drops. You had bad reads from Josh Allen. I don't know what you're thinking about, Josh. I don't know how you throw an interception one week against a coverage and come back the very next week and not even 6 days late and throw the same exact interception. How do you do that? everything's unraveled, and in my opinion, nobody should be safe. 4 turnovers, everything unraveled tonight.
And when you finally get something go your way, you have 12 men on the field. Like, we thought we escaped, right?
We didn't deserve to win.
No, they absolutely didn't.
Absolutely not.
And they had 4 turnovers. You can't win football games like that. You absolutely can't. You can't win football games like that. Like, my thing is, they had 192 yards rushing. The Bills had 192 yards rushing, but yet here we are chucking bombs down the field when we don't need to be, and we can't do the simple things. Like, it's everything. Like, I'm sick of trying to figure out. My brain literally can't figure out who's to blame each and every week, because tonight it was everybody. The defense played good. I will give Izzy his props. He's sticking to that, and I agree, because they were put in horrible situations, whether it be bad punt returns, kick returns, whether it be
4 turnovers,
whether it be just 3 and outs, punts, whatever. The defense gave up 24 points, and it could have been a hell of a lot more. And some of those guys
we want to win a Super Bowl, though. And what about when you need to make a play? What about when you need to make a stop? You're supposed to be a defensive guy. You're supposed to be a defensive guru. You can't stop Russell Wilson. You can't stop Mac Jones. Who can you stop when it matters the most? I understand. It's all good. And, first 3 quarters, we play, we bend but don't break. We hold them. But what about when it matters and when we need the stops? Why can't he get those stops? I don't know how y'all feel, but how much longer can we defend the coaching?
Three times this year in most recent memory, once this whole thing started sliding the wrong way, the Patriots game, just make a stop and you survive that game, right? They couldn't. Mac Jones went all right down the field like a hot knife through butter. The Bills had a chance. Make a stop, you get the ball back. At least give your offense a chance. Say what you want about the offense, fine. Tonight, you just had to make a stop. And you played conservative most of this season. Now, all of a sudden, you want to blitz everybody and bring the house? No, all he has to do is throw a deep pass and hope that there is a pass interference penalty. And lo and behold, that's what happened.
I said that in our group chat. You want to be conservative at the end of games all year long, but this one time at band camp, you decide to blitz everybody and leave Taron Johnson and Island with no help over the top, no safety, cover 0. Let's send the freaking house. Why? They had no timeouts. If they throw it inside the numbers anywhere, they got to rush Lutz on there. And even if they did, look what happened when they did have to rush him out there. They didn't have to rush. He still missed the damn kick, right? That part I blame on McDermott. That's a very small sliver of the game, though. Very small sliver of the game. The rest of this game was on Dorsey and Josh. You can't put your defense in the position to where they're on the field for 45 minutes of the damn game. You can't do that. You don't have Tre'Davious White out there with Dane Cook backing him up. Dane Cook is starting. His backup is Josh Norman. That dude's 55 fucking years old. You can't do that. You don't have Matt Milano out there. You got Tyrell Dodson out there. You can't do that. His backup is Dorian Williams, who's 12 years old. You don't have the personnel to have your defense out there for 40-plus minutes. If you had Trey White, if you had Matt Milano, if you had Daquan Jones, fine. But you don't. You got backup starting, which means the guys backing them up are bums. That's what this came down to. This offense put the defense in a problem every time they were out there, and the defense solved it most of the game. And when they were exhausted, they couldn't. And the same thing in the Bengals game. The defense bailed them out twice in the fourth quarter. They couldn't do it the third time because the offense dropped the ball. Literally, Dalton Kincaid flipped upside down and dropped the ball, gave him the ball back, and we had 3 minutes to stop him. Get the hell out of here. This offense is a damn problem in my book. I know the defense isn't perfect. It's not. With the injuries we got and new guys coming in, sure. But they bailed you out and you still let them down. You let them down. This defense is playing their hearts out. They're trying. They're giving all their effort. I can't say the same thing about the freaking offense. I can't say the same thing about the offense. And I was checking out a show before this one, before we got on here. And one of those guys on the show said, I need my pound of flesh. And you know what? Dorsey, you got to go. Someone's got to go. I need my pound of flesh too. Get him out of here. This offense needs a freaking defibrillator. And that's not a DeMar Hamlin joke. That is me just saying they need electricity to the chest, clear, boom, and get somebody new in here. That's nonsense that they put out in the field out there. The first drive, fumble the ball. The next one, you intercept it. You throw an interception? Really? Oh, those were not on Josh, though. Those two weren't on Josh. That was on Cook and Gabe, obviously. But then Josh gives it away again. And then he gives it away again on the fumble to James Cook. And then for some reason, they put James Cook on the bench after that one, like Josh didn't drop the ball. No. Get the hell out of here. This offense is the problem. The defense ain't perfect. I give them that. They got reasons. They got reasons to be not perfect. The offense, no reason to not be good. They're not even good. They're garbage. They're garbage.
Listen. We could talk about the offense. We can talk about the offense all night, right? And I understand the upset with Dorsey, and I'm gonna talk about Dorsey, but I'm not giving Sean McDermott a pass here. Sean McDermott is the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, and I know the defense has played well. But every time the Buffalo Bills defense gave up a big play and hasn't played well and lacked that execution, it's because it was untimed blitzes, putting his players out of position for the Denver Broncos skill players to make plays. We are basically telegraphing our blitzes, and they are getting easily picked up. And this has been frequently week in and week out. And I know the defense has played well, a lot of onus on the players. Sean McDermott does deserve his credit. But when it's time to make that critical call, he doesn't make that critical call at that critical moment. And he always gets out-coached. And that is a problem. How is he going to lead the Buffalo Bills to the next level if he continuously gets out-coached? And that, in my opinion, is unacceptable. And in my opinion, Sean McDermott and this Buffalo Bills team has plateaued. They reached their ceiling. This is it. This is it right here. Now, of course, Sean McDermott, because he broke the drought, right? Even though I just said Bill Belichick is about to be shown the pink slip. He's won Super Bowls. But since Sean McDermott has signed his extension, he's broke the drought, they're going to be scapegoats to go first. The offensive coordinator is going to be fired first. There are going to be firings around Sean McDermott. So as much as people may want to talk, and I'm going to give him his harsh criticisms as well, the reality is the Buffalo Bills, I highly doubt after this season is going to fire Sean McDermott. They're going to fire around him. There's going to be scapegoats around him, and he's going to get that another opportunity. But there are definitely changes that need to be made, and I definitely wonder if Sean McDermott is that guy that can lead this team to the next level. Because in critical moments, when great coaching plays need to be called, it's not called, and the opposition doesn't matter who the opposition is. Sean Payton, Robert Saleh, Zach Taylor. It doesn't matter who the opposition is. The opposition always wins in these close games, and that's a problem. And that's coaching.
That is a problem. I agree. That's a problem. But in games like this one specifically, not all close games. Like last year, Minnesota was pretty good, right? I give them that due. Minnesota was good. This is a 3-5 team we played today. It's a 3-5 team. They had no business being in this. We should have been up 24-9 at half. We should have been up to 25. And I see some comments saying, hey, Dorsey called a good game. Look, for the most part, he did. My problem isn't with Dorsey calling a good game. My problem is with Dorsey being compatible with his quarterback or not. He's not compatible with his quarterback. And when you have a quarterback and an OC that are not compatible, doesn't matter how good either one of them is, you're not going to get a good product on the field. And that is a problem. You have an OC who's calling plays designed for Mac Jones, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and you have someone totally different from those guys. Mac Jones could run this offense and be more effective than Josh Allen right now. Mac Jones could do that. Zach Wilson could run this offense more effectively than Josh Allen right now because it's built for a guy who needs to find a check down quick. Josh Allen's not that guy. You need to find routes for an Aaron Rodgers type guy who wants to get the ball downfield. You need to find an offense that's built for a Brett Favre type of guy who can get the ball downfield. That's what Josh wants to do. That's what his instincts are. His instincts are fighting what they want him to do. And so Josh Allen played a horrible game. Let's not get it twisted. One touchdown, 2 interceptions.
We're going to talk about him. We're going to talk
horrible game.
We're going to talk about him. But and you're absolutely right. You're right 100%. And here's the thing about.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Dorsey. You know, I want to get y'all thoughts in the comment section. Here's the thing about Dorsey. Dorsey, he doesn't have an idea of how to call plays. This is what I'm seeing. It looks as if he can look good at times, maybe in the beginning of some games when he's going off a script, that 5 to 10 play script, he could look decent, and then the offense tails off. But all in all, in my opinion, Ken Dorsey doesn't have an idea of how to call plays and how to follow up on plays called. Kind of like a boxer. He has no combinations. He's just throwing the jab. He's just throwing the hook. He's not throwing no combinations as a boxer, right? And that's what I'm getting from Ken Dorsey. He doesn't know how to follow up on the offensive play calls being called. He has no jabs. He has no combinations, and he's out there. He's just calling plays. And I think that's the problem with Ken Dorsey. The Denver Broncos, they've had problems running the ball all game. And yes, the Bills had success running the ball, but it was almost because they had no choice. They was fumbling the ball. They was making mistakes. Guys was dropping the ball. So let's resort to the run, right? So it was just, I don't think Ken Dorsey is the guy that's going to be able to lead the Buffalo Bills offense to the next level. And now the proof is starting to become the pudding. It's 5-5. It's 10 games played. And it's time for us to wake up, understand what type of team we have. It's a high possibility that we're not going to the playoffs this year. And a lot of changes have to be made. You lost to a sub-500 team in the Denver Broncos. Miami Dolphins put up 70 points. The New York Jets beat these guys. You lost to the New England Patriots there, 2-8 team. This is supposed to be the softest part of the Buffalo Bills schedule when you're supposed to be racking up wins. Getting to this schedule so you can, you lose a couple games is okay because we racked up wins in our soft part of the schedule, but we can't even be successful in this part, and now we got the grueling part. I don't see how the Bills make the playoffs, and I think everything unraveled today for the Buffalo Bills.
It's a crowded AFC, Akeem. It's a crowded AFC. the AFC is not it's not for the weak of heart. There are a lot of teams 5-5, 6-4, 4-5. There's a lot of teams right where we're at, including the Jets, like you named, including the Dolphins, who are now a game and a half ahead of us after this week. There are a lot of teams right in this vicinity here. We can make the playoffs, sure, but does it matter at this point? Who cares? We make it. Okay, cool. Then we lose to the Chiefs, or we lose to the Bengals, or we lose to the Ravens, or who gives a shit who it is? Whatever. We make it there. We lose in a wild card. Oh, look. Oh, successful season. We made the playoffs. Kiss my ass on that. But to this comment here, guys, just go to bed. We're done. Let Pagula figure it out what to do. We said what needs to be done all year. But you know what? I'm upset. So I'm going to go ahead and answer this one with my upset Izzy, which you guys haven't seen much of because we've been winning since I've been here. Tell that to the Sabres, okay? So that's what I'll say to that. Tell it to the damn Sabres. Pagula will figure it out. No, the hell he won't, okay? Sorry. We thought we had to figure it out with McDermott. We got lucky here. We're going to have to find somebody else who wants to come to Buffalo. But we found somebody who wanted to come to Buffalo, got us out of the drought, got us here. We're stuck with this guy, whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or not, we're stuck with this guy right now. Because you have to find somebody who wants to come to Buffalo and give up a third of their check to New York State. That's just the reality of it. You have to find someone who wants to come to Buffalo and pay that tax on their property when they buy it. Good luck when they can go to Florida, Texas, Yeah, you found somebody who wanted to be here. The best bet the Bills have is to give Joe Brady the reins, because when he was in Carolina, yeah, he was the passing game coordinator and he was a scapegoat there, but he had 2,000-yard receivers there. He had 2,000-yard receivers there. He had a good tight end, Greg Olsen, and that offense was not bad. They weren't great, but they weren't bad. He had no talent, and he made the talent look all right. And this offense is a shock to the system. So this defense is not put in this position anymore. I understand the McDermott blame. I get it. I really do. Because there's enough blame to go around for everybody. Look, when you got a plate full of pancakes, all of them get the syrup, and that's how it is. Right now, these flapjacks are flipped. This is horrible.
Now, Josh Allen, 15 for 26, 177 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He probably should have had 3 interceptions. Or everything balances itself out, I guess, because Gabe Davis should have caught the ball. But obviously he's not comfortable in the offense. Obviously he's not comfortable in the offense. I don't know if he's just not seeing the entire field, because maybe he has that limited route selection where he has only 1 or 2 reads and he's depending on these reads to get open, or he's just playing bad. Is it a combination of both? But I know one thing: he's not comfortable one way or the other in this Ken Dorsey offense. But something he can control is turning over the football. He has to be able to. You have to execute a handoff. We cannot just we cannot continuously be careless with the football. And Josh Allen, since he's come to the NFL, doesn't matter who the coordinator is, doesn't matter who the quarterback coach is, has been careless with the football. And that is on him. And after 6 years of being able to be a franchise quarterback starting in the NFL, you have to have a certain level of progression where you have to say, I can't make these mistakes anymore. I'm a veteran in this league. I'm a franchise quarterback, and I can't do this anymore. Doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is. And he's making mistakes that he should not be making as a franchise quarterback in year 6. And we need to see better play. And if that's the change at the offensive coordinator position, then that's what it has to be. And the results speak for itself. Say what you want about Brian Daboll. They probably turned the ball over a lot in the Brian Daboll offense, but they scored as well. And it wasn't as difficult as it is now. It's like it's like being an NBA team and have no offensive player on the floor whatsoever, and you haven't scored a bucket in the last 10 minutes. That's how the offense looked. It's a grind. It's hard. It's grueling. And when it's like that, compound with a mistake-prone team, bad things are bound to happen. We are not a team that's going to score a touchdown on 2-3 plays. We don't. That explosiveness from the Buffalo Bills is gone. It's completely out the window.
Clearly.
And what was it? Is it player? Is it players? If it's players that's the problem, then I have to look at the GM. If it's the personnel or if it's the execution, then okay, we have to put some onus on the players. Is it the coaching staff? And everything compounded tonight in this loss against the Denver Broncos, and the whole thing was unacceptable. And yes, I'm looking at Sean McDermott as a main culprit, even though there's other things around him to blame and other things around him that may leave before he's ultimately on the hot seat.
So here's why I both agree and disagree with you. McDermott's unit did well. That's why I disagree. Here's why I agree. He picked the goddamn OC. You picked this guy. That's your dude. As his leader, he's your subordinate. It's your job to make sure he does his job, or you get rid of him and find somebody who can. That's your job. You're the OC, you're the head coach. It is time to cut that cord. It's time to move on because it's not working. You're not going to get rid of your $258 million quarterback who you got to pay all this money over all these years. You're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. Sorry, everybody. Mr. Vincent Thomas, who says bench Allen. I'm sorry, buddy. Josh isn't going anywhere. Josh ain't going nowhere for at least 3-4 years. Get used to him being here. It is the responsibility of the head coach, just like it is of a father, to make sure his son has everything he needs to succeed at this point. It is the GM's responsibility, too, to make sure he has the weapons. It is the responsibility of the head coach to find somebody who can deploy those weapons in such a fashion that will facilitate a effective offense on this team. Now, people say we should not head coach. I don't think that different that changes anything. I don't think that changes anything because you still have an offensive coordinator. Most defensive head coaches yield the offense to their OC, and most offensive head coaches yield the defense to their DC, like Andy Reid with Steve Spagnuolo. Same difference. Now, when you look at this team and the coaching staffs, every single coaching problem you can blame on Sean McDermott. No problem with it. They're his coaches. He picked them. He hired them. It's on him to make sure that the guys can maximize the ability of the players on the field. Why is Deontay Hardy on my field? Why is Deontay Hardy on my field on offense? Punt return, kick return, fine. Why is he running routes on my field?
Gabe Davis just dropped the pass. Gabe Davis just dropped the pass previously.
Good. Get him off the field too. Shakir, Kincaid, Cook, Diggs. Put Quentin Morris out there. I don't give a damn. At least he can catch the ball. At least he can catch the ball. At least he's big. At least he can run a route right. At least he can get down. Give me somebody who can catch the freaking ball. Put 2 running backs out there. I don't care. Run 21 personnel. I don't care.
I mean,
this nonsense of having players who don't catch or who fumble too much, or you have an OC who runs a play where your guy's likely to get smashed upon delivery of the ball on the design route. No. I've had enough of this mishmash of offensive talent and offensive coaching. I have. This defense isn't so exhausted later in the game if this offense puts up the yards and is able to sustain drives, but they can't. It was 15. It was 15-15. It was 4 turnovers to 1. They had 4 turnovers. We had 1. We got 1 turnover against them, and they had 4 on us, and it was 15-15. Who's failing at that point? It's not the defense. It's the offense. And Sean McDermott, that's on you too because you picked him to be your OC. And the writing was on the wall last year, and you're like, oh, cool, 12 personnel. This will make it better. No, the hell it won't. No, it won't, and it hasn't. And now that's gone too.
We need an offensive head coach, period. Now,
that's cool.
I listen. I get it, right? I get it. If you're not really thinking in depth, I get it. Need an offensive head coach. He'll be better. He's be on the team. He's calling plays year in, year out. You don't have to worry about a system. But Arthur Smith is an offensive head coach. What is he doing right now?
Not a fuck thing.
Right. Josh McDaniels was an offensive head coach. What is he doing? So I understand the thought process when you're initially thinking about it, but it has to be the right guy. It can't just be anybody. You have to pick the right guy. Can the Buffalo Bills, first of all, have the balls to do something like that? Fire a Sean McDermott, and I don't know if they're thinking that right now. I do think it's a conversation that needs to be had, though. I'm at that point. It's too much. It's you have to be able to win close games, and you have to be able to execute down the stretch. And it's been multiple years where Sean McDermott led teams are failing to execute down the stretch, and these other coaches are the beneficiaries of out coaching Sean McDermott. How many times are we going to say Sean McDermott is out coached? And that is a problem. But yes, Ken Dorsey, he's not the guy for the job. I'm at that point where, okay, he has to go. And we have to do something now. The Buffalo Bills, they like stability. They've been a well-run machine in terms of having stability for the most part. So I think that they're not going to make any sudden changes. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what the bye week may bring? But I don't think they would make any sudden changes. I don't think.
We'll be 5-8 by then. It's too late.
I don't think so. But I do think changes has to be made, and this off season I think would be a good starting point.
Look, heads need to roll. Someone said in the comments already, heads need to roll. And the first head that needs to roll is Ken Dorsey. So I'm sorry, Ken. I think that he's going to be a fine OC somewhere else with the right quarterback. I think he'll be a fine head coach one day, maybe. I don't think he calls bad plays. I don't think that the plays fit his personnel. That's the problem with Ken Dorsey. Now, another thing with Sean McDermott, which, Akeem, you're blaming Sean McDermott, and I'm jumping on your bandwagon here. He chose not to have a DC this year. Spreading himself thin was his choice. The defensive struggles that are happening are on his shoulders. He chose that when they mutually parted ways with Leslie Frazier, assuming that responsibility himself, and then taking that on with being a head coach. That's on him too. Look, every single decision you made is your decision, and you're responsible for every single one of them. When the general decides that he's going to do the colonel's job, well, sir, you're not responsible for that colonel's battalion. And so good luck.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I'm a firm believer. I've always been a firm believer. I've always had certain formulas to things. I always felt like after a certain point in the season, you are who you are, right? And then there's the talks like, okay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were 7-5, or late in the season, and they was able to run off what they was able to run off, but they wasn't down star players on all levels of the defense. They didn't have certain issues that this Buffalo Bills team has had, and we're at the point right now where we might be looking into the offseason sooner rather than later with this Buffalo Bills team. And it's unfortunate. We had high hopes, we had high expectations, and the season's definitely not over. But it's after a certain point, you are who you are, and the Buffalo Bills are 5-5. They're struggling mightily on offense. The defense is doing, they're doing a pretty good job. They're not making stops when it matters, but they're making stops along the course of the game to keep the Bills in the game for the duration of the game. So, it's just unfortunate. Bad luck with injuries, coaching, everything is spiraling for the Buffalo Bills, and it's unfortunate to see. It's unfortunate to go through and experience.
Yeah, I think the biggest loss when it comes to the injuries that you mentioned was Matt Milano, because he scores touchdowns on defense, and if we had one of those today, we win that game. But we didn't. We almost had one, but neither here nor there. To me, the defense is playing well. To me, the first obvious move, new OC. That's the first obvious move in my opinion. The next move after this season, if the new OC doesn't work out, you're going to give Sean McDermott one more year. That's clearly the case in my opinion. But next year, the hot seat is real. The hot seat's real. Unless they somehow turn this thing around and like New York Giants style when they beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, unless they somehow do that, which none of us see happening right now. Right. And that's what this part of the year is when you're having this type of season to begin with, is The world is over. It's time to be done. And unless his team makes some miraculous turnaround, this is where we're going to be. We're going to be right here, mad as hell, pissed off, talking all this junk about our own team. Because why? Because they are not giving us the product that we deserve. And they're not giving us the product that they are capable of giving. And unless they make some miraculous turnaround, oh well, because the best we can be this year now is 12-5. And 12-5 ain't freaking happening at this point in time. And I'm holding myself back because I want to curse so bad. 12-5 ain't happening, people. We're losing to the Cowboys or the Eagles. That's going to happen. That's at least one more loss on the schedule. One of those two is a loss. You pick one. I don't care.
Bro,
we got
pick one. Pick one.
Out of those two, pick one. We're losing one of those two at least.
We're losing both of those games, bro.
If we play them tomorrow, we damn right we sure are.
Bro, we're losing we have a both of those games, bro.
We got the Jets and we got the freaking Eagles. I mean, the Jets beat the Eagles. Why can't we? I'll tell you why. Because they're freaking humming and we're not. Something's got to change. It's got to change now. Otherwise, it's lost.
Bro, I'm woke. Something's got. This is the Bills. This is them. Something's got to change. What's changing? There is nothing changing, bro. There's going to be spurts of solid play throughout the game for about 18, 19 minutes, maybe. I don't know. But it's change, miraculous change. We're not changing. Milano's not walking through that door. Daquan Jones, Trey White's not walking through that door.
I'm talking about the drought Bills are back right now.
You know,
we look like the drought Bills. We don't look like the McDermott era Bills. We look like the Dick Geron Bills. That's what we look like. We look like Dick Geron's Bills. We look like Chan Gailey's Bills. We look like J.P. Lossman's Bills. And you know what Josh Allen's initials are? Joshua Patrick Allen. J.P. Allen is what we're looking at right the hell now.
And you know, it's really unfortunate because I put a comment up there. Somebody said for being to mess up the draft, and that's another issue that could be on the horizon. Brandon Beane. We're talking about Sean McDermott. We're talking about Ken Dorsey. But Brandon Beane, what is he going to do at safety? The contract with Dawson Knox. You know, how much can you do with Dawson Knox this offseason? I don't think you could do much. Dawson Knox, Trey White's contract, Von Miller's contract. You know, you got Josh Allen getting paid. You got these guys that is not equaling the production to match the contract under contract, taking up cap space. So how much better are the Buffalo Bills going to get this offseason? So my thing is this the beginning? Is this the season of the beginning? It did 2021. Buffalo reached that ceiling. It's possible it's capped out, plateaued, and now it's starting to come back down to earth. Maybe not, hopefully not drought years per se, but it may be an issue going forward. I don't see any, unless Brandon Beane knocks the draft out the park, and he hasn't given me any confidence to believe he can do that. I know we're going to have a number of picks, but I'm not sure if he can do that. You know, so is this the beginning of the struggles for the Buffalo Bills? And that's my concern, because I think that this can possibly carry over to next season because of how we're constructed as a football team.
So the cap next year is less of a problem than people think. We can let go of Trey White. We can let go of Deontay Hardy. We can let go of Jordan Poyer. There's a bunch of players we can let go of and that could retire, and most likely Von Miller would after this year, because this year the Bills clearly, he came here to win a Super Bowl, and this team's clearly not doing that. So he probably retires after this year.
I don't think he retires. I don't think Von Miller retires.
I don't think he stays.
I think he stays.
That's weird. That's fucking weird. That's fucking weird, bro. Why would he fucking do that? I wouldn't do that.
He has something to prove. He feels he has something to prove. He's going to feel he has something. He's going to be a year removed.
You can't prove it by yourself, man. That's not how that works.
No, I think he stays. I don't blame Von Miller. That knee injury, he's at an advanced age with a torn ACL, his second torn ACL in the same knee he tore 10 years ago. So I don't fault. People want to say, but I know people have been talking even in the comments about Von Miller. I don't fault him. I expect him to have this rough go. I'm expecting Von Miller to be Von Miller next season. If you're expecting that this season, ladies and gentlemen, these are why you're presenting these comments, because he's had a major knee injury and he's 34 years of age. This is we have to temper expectations on Von Miller. I know he's getting paid, but the reality is he got hurt, and it's going to take time.
So last comment, can we change OCs right now? Yes, we can. We can get rid of Dorsey, but we'd be limited to the other offensive coaches on this current staff.
Who? Brady? Joe Brady?
Yeah, Joe Brady.
Hasn't gave me anything. I don't know nothing about that guy.
I do. I've done some research.
I don't know.
When he was with Carolina, he was a dual offensive coordinator. He was the pass game coordinator, and he had a run game coordinator. The pass game was outstanding, but the run game was trash because CMC was hurt. So take that for what it is. He can definitely drop a passing game, but neither here nor there. Yeah, we have guys on the team right now on the offensive coaching staff. You're not going to bring somebody else from outside the team to this offensive scheme that's been taught to this team this year. So it'll be somebody from in-house, wide receivers coach, probably not. Quarterback coach, most likely. Offensive line coach, most. A good OC. That's exactly what they were supposed to do. If they have a reckless quarterback, they're supposed to understand that, okay, I know this guy. I have to be able to have some type of control on this guy. And right now, Ken Dorsey is not that type of coordinator to have that type of control, because Ken Dorsey is literally just calling plays. We do need an OC that can say, you know what, you're getting a little reckless. I'm going to temper you down now, and I'm going to bring you back in the box, and we're going to get back to the basics, and then we're going to start from there. You know, and right now, Ken Dorsey is not capable of doing that, but is Sean McDermott capable of finding that guy? Because OCs just don't come off trees. You have to be capable of, I know we want to be able to fire Ken Dorsey, and that's easy to say, but what are you replacing him with? The Buffalo Bills have been replacing and shuffling offensive linemen every year, but they still yet to protect Josh Allen up till this year. They've done a solid job up until this year. Yeah. But just because you replace a guy doesn't mean that guy is the guy. So is Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane even capable of finding an offensive coordinator if and when they relieve Ken Dorsey of his duties? Me personally, I know you did your research. I don't think Joe Brady's the guy neither. That's not a step I would look forward to. I'm not looking to replace Ken Dorsey, a first-time offensive coordinator, for a failed first-time offensive coordinator with the team like the Buffalo Bills right now. So there's two types of coaches out there: ones who have been fired and ones who will be fired. Back to life. And Joe Brady coached Joe Burrow in LSU to that national championship game, where Joe Burrow threw 60 touchdowns in a college season of 12 games. So if somebody's going to help reel Josh in, it's going to be a guy who can reel Joe Burrow in. You ask me, Dorsey is not, and I don't mean this to insult Dorsey, but I'm gonna. Dorsey is not man enough to reel in Josh Allen. He's just not. Look at Dorsey. Listen to him. He gets angry. He's not a guy who's gonna reel in a man's man like that. Josh Allen is too much beast for him. Right? That's like giving an amateur driver a Corvette ZR1 and be like, "Hey man, run the 40 or not run the 40." Run a quarter mile. Let's see what you got. And hoping he doesn't crash your freaking car. It's like Tokyo Drift, where he gives him the keys to the freaking Sylvia, and he hits every corner on the way out. No, you need somebody who can actually reel this guy in, and Brady's that guy. Joe Brady is that guy as a coach. He can dial it in for Josh Allen. Dorsey cannot. He's just not that guy. If you're just looking at him man to man, go ahead and look up Joe Brady. Look up Dorsey. Me giving the freaking co-creator of the channel homework. Go look him up and tell me who you think is going to go ahead and get Josh under control, Joe Brady or Ken Dorsey. And I guarantee you come back and be like, that shit ain't Ken Dorsey. It's definitely Joe Brady.
And
that dude is a man's man and a good passing coordinator. Run game, I don't know.
And I think this comment is 100% accurate. It is on Josh. Those mistakes that he's making, those turnovers that he's having, is definitely on Josh Allen. When you lead the NFL in turnovers ever since you come into NFL, it's definitely on you. The onus is definitely on you. But at the same time, because of that, because we know what we have in our quarterback and he's susceptible to these turnovers, we now have to have an OC that understands that and knows how to reel him back in. Say, you know what? I see my quarterback is struggling. He's off today. Let me get to the run game. Let me get to the run game and let me work the play action. You know what? Let me get something easy. Let me throw this bubble screen. Let me throw the screen to the running back. Let me throw the bubble screen to Diggs. Let me get something easy and now try to build off that. Ken Dorsey is just continuously calling plays. And now, these players are human beings at the same time. So their confidence levels are getting involved. And now you have to have a coach that understands that confidence plays a factor in the success of failure of players in games and succeeding play by play. And Ken Dorsey cannot or is incapable, in my opinion, of reeling and understanding that he needs to reel his quarterback back in and get him back to the basics and adjust. We know Josh Allen needs to play better and play better mistake-free football. Look at Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson didn't do anything spectacular, but he didn't have a turnover. He played smart, high IQ football today, Russell Wilson. And because he played high IQ smart football, he was victorious today. And Josh Allen definitely has to play better. He has to play smarter, but his coach has to help him out and has to have the awareness to help him out some and reel him back in when he's indeed being reckless. And that is something Ken Dorsey's incapable of doing.
So I'm going to go ahead and address this comment. So done with Buffalo this year. Hey, man, if you are, I don't blame you. So unimpressed with the effort. Now, I don't think it's an effort problem from the players. I don't think it's effort. Lack of confidence, lack of accountability, lack of a lot of things. Effort, I don't think it is. They're trying. The defense is definitely trying. The offense, Josh is trying to do things that he shouldn't be trying to do. He's trying to do shit that he shouldn't be trying to do, but he's trying it and failing miserably at those times. He still leads the league in touchdowns, but who gives a damn if you're not winning games, right? Akeem just laid it out. The quarterback who played the higher IQ game today was Russell Wilson. Josh went out there and made stupid decisions. What we have right now in Josh Allen is a big fish in a small tank. You have an Oscar fish in a 10-gallon tank. Okay, for all you guys who keep fish, I keep fish, right? You can't have too small a tank for the fish. The fish will flounder in that tank. The play calls are too predictable. The way things are going are just not acclimated to what you have at your quarterback spot. You don't have a big enough tank for your quarterback, for your fish. Your fish needs more space to work with. He needs more to operate in. There's not Dorsey's limitations are because he's trying to box him into this Breeze Brady mold. He's not that. He's a workhorse. He is a racehorse. You don't put a greyhound in a freaking tiny backyard. No, he needs space to run. You're not giving Josh Allen that. And that doesn't mean it's not Josh Allen's fault when he throws an interception while throwing to Deontay Hardy. That's Josh Allen's fault. The whole game I was sitting in Built-in Buffalo's group chat like, that's on Josh Allen. That's on Josh Allen. That's on Josh Allen. That's on Josh Allen. That's on, like, you can ask Akeem. I was in there. That's not on Dorsey. But no one's there to reel him in. No one's there to reel him in. And I know we're using the whole reel him in thing, and I'm talking about a big fish in a small fish tank, and you got to reel him in because there's nowhere for him to go. Both those things are true with this quarterback. He's both got nowhere to go, and he needs to be reeled in. He's like that Oscar fish trying to run around that tank, but he's got nowhere to turn. He's just hitting all the damn walls. And so you're trying to calm this thing down, but it won't calm the hell down because it's panicked. That's where he is. He's trying everything he can, but he has nothing to give in this situation.
It's so crazy. We were so concerned about the middle linebacker position. I love Terrell Bernard.
You make me smile now. How do you do that? You make me smile.
I freaking loved, even in his mistakes, he plays full speed, full go. And I just love the aggressive nature that he plays with. Even on the 4-star penalty, he blew up the running back. He was talking his stuff. I saw the connection between him and Sean McDermott on the sideline. Sean McDermott really likes this kid, and they hit one with him. I really like Terrell Bernard as the middle linebacker. His future is bright, and we have to. I think this is the reality for the Buffalo Bills, right? We could talk about firing this, firing that. I think the conversation needs to be had about Sean McDermott's job security. I do think next year would be a year where if we're talking about hot seats, it's solidified then. In reality, I do not think the Buffalo Bills are going to do anything about the head coach or trying to get rid of the head coach this season. I think the reality is he will have time to fix what's around him. There's going to be other scapegoats. There's going to be position coaches fired beyond possibly the offensive coordinator. And I think he's going to get those opportunities to patch those holes and rectify those mistakes before he's officially on the hot seat next season. So that's what I think the reality is with the Buffalo Bills. As much as I talk about Sean McDermott and the conversation needing to be had, I do think he's going to be safe for this season, and he's going to try to right his wrongs this off season and getting the people around him to fit what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I agree there. And here's one comment I'm going to disagree with, but not for the reasons that he thinks. Josh Allen plays with no emotion, no leadership from our captains. And I'm going to disagree with this comment for a reason that you, sir, may not know. Josh Allen plays with emotion, but those emotions are despair. Those emotions are contempt. Those emotions are frustration. Those emotions are, why the hell are we doing this? Those are the emotions Josh Allen is playing with. No emotions that we want to see exhibited from our franchise quarterback. His emotions like confusion. He's confounded.
Is it possible that Josh Allen? Well, I'll say this first. You see the temperament of Brian Daboll over there with the New York Giants. You see how Brian Daboll reacts on the sidelines. Brian Daboll is a real fiery head coach. He is a real aggressive head coach. He had that mantra about him, and he has that aggressive nature, and he's going to curse a coach out. He's going to curse a ref out and let a ref be known about it if there's a problem. And I think Josh Allen kind of misses that fire that Coach Brian Daboll brought, because we see Brian Daboll's fire on the sideline with the New York Giants, and I haven't seen that fire from Josh Allen like that since Brian Daboll left. So is that possible? We're talking about coaching. Is it possible that he fed off the emotions of his offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll?
And this right here is why I'm pro Joe Brady, because if you watch Joe Brady as an offensive coordinator, he's fiery. He's emotional. Come here. Give me that hug. Good throw. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Bad throw. That's Joe Brady. I've looked him up. I've done my research on him. That's why I like him. Ken Dorsey's fiery after the last play of the game when his offense doesn't work out and he's slamming his freaking yearbook across the damn counter. Right? That's Ken Dorsey. Yeah, I also have no emotion from this guy. And you know who's another guy we lost?
Yeah, he's
another guy we lost and no one's talking about? Chad Hall, wide receivers coach.
Somebody said that before, and I kind of ignored it, but I'm thinking about it now.
Chad Hall, wide receivers coach.
That fire, yeah, the fire is different. The edge is definitely different, and Ken Dorsey is definitely different. But Brian Daboll was that, I want to run through the brick wall kind of fiery. Ken Dorsey's that, my Wi-Fi went out. I'm upset. I'm about to throw a temper tantrum. Fiery, like my Wi-Fi went out. Like he's like that's the type of the vibe I get from him. It's just different. And again, Josh Allen definitely has to make better decisions, make better plays going forward. We hope he can. 5-5. I'm at loss for words right now.
Is there a chance Diggs will leave? There's no way in hell Diggs is leaving. There's no way in hell. We can't afford to. The contract we gave him, he's here for 3 of the 4 years of that contract. He's here for 3 to 4 years. That's it. He's not going nowhere. They can't afford to let him go. Monetarily, can't afford it. It's not possible. Like cap wise, impossible. So we'll just answer that. It's just like you're talking about a whole different aspect of what we're talking. We're talking about coaching, this and third. That's the other side of football. There's no way in hell. However, when it comes to fiery on offense, we lost all of our fire. Have you seen our new wide receivers coach? I haven't heard a damn thing about him.
Mm-mm.
I always heard about Chad Hall.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Christmas they bought him a truck. All of them pitched in, bought him like a $78,000 truck.
Mm-hmm.
You do that when you love somebody because they make you better.
Mm-hmm.
Who on offense is making these guys better?
Mm.
I got nothing for that.
Chad Hall was like, you know what? Let me go over here in Jacksonville with Doug Peterson, the offensive-minded coach, so I can really pick up on some things. Because over here in Buffalo, I no disrespect to these defensive-minded guys and Ken Dorsey over here, but let me go over here and get with the offensive mind, and hopefully I can, because of Doug Peterson's tree, I can get a better coaching opportunities.
Well, I think there's that, but I think that once Dable left, it was a wrap. It was eventually going to be, I'm out of here. This Dorsey guy is not the guy. He's not fiery enough. He doesn't get in these players' ass. He's scared to do it. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but clearly that was an issue. And when he left, there was a lot said about it. And I kind of skipped my mind. Was out of there. But who could think of that when this team's doing what they're doing right now? This is fucking garbage.
Yeah, I mean. But
now that I'm thinking about it, you lost Brian Dable, who was a fiery guy, got in his guy's ass. You lost Chad Hall, who was a fiery guy. The new guy's a robot. I don't even know his name. I know Chad Hall's name, though. The new guy, I don't know his name.
It's
the O-line's the only part of the offense that looks any good. And James Cook, who had an outstanding night minus the fumbles, which he had 2 that were on him. I don't know if they counted that one that Josh gave him on him or Josh. Should have been on Josh. But the other the one where he fumbled it and they got the ball back, or the Broncos got the ball in the first drive, and then the one where he bounced it like a basketball, picked it up and ran for 30 yards. That one was okay. I'm okay with that fumble because you got smacked out from behind you. You thought you was in the clear. I get that one. The one where you're getting tackled and you need to get down, get the hell down. But
that fumble was on Josh. I don't know who they're gonna give it to, but from what it looks like to me, that fumble was definitely on Josh Allen. Just careless of the football. We just penalties and mistakes. It always bites the Buffalo Bills, and you have to look at the leaders when it comes to that. I don't
look at whole new stash of coaches next year, unless Joe Brady gets to replace Dorsey and shows him something. He's gonna have to redo the whole staff.
We'll see what happens next week against the New York Jets. That's another game where it's possible that we could get swept by the Jets.
If we do, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Over it.
So
we get swept by the fucking Jets.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Breece Hall, Breece Hall is he's a terror against us. He hasn't done nothing as much lately, but when he plays the Bills, anything's possible. So, I'm all out. I'm all out, man. I'm all out. Buffalo Bills lose 24-22 to the Denver Broncos. Possibly, playoff contending hopes sliding right through our very eyes. 7 games left in the season. It's a daunting schedule for the rest of the season, and the way it looks, it doesn't look promising. But it's not over. It's never a chance. That's why we're fans, right? We know kind of what's going on and how our team is, but we're going to still watch in hopes that we can be proven wrong and this thing can actually be turned around. And hopefully that can start with the New York Jets. But tonight, another sour taste, another vomiting in my mouth and swallowing it back moment. Watching the Buffalo Bills play the Denver Broncos tonight. Disgusting taste in my mouth and very disappointing to say the least. Anything else you got, Izzy, before we get out of here?
Very little. I'd be surprised if Dorsey's still the OC on Wednesday. I'd be surprised if he is. If he is, God help us all. That means that McDermott's seeing no problems, and then that is on McDermott. So he has to do something now. Again, if nothing's done, then he's submitting the season to whatever it is he's submitting it to. I don't know what it is, why it is, but yeah, I expect to see Dorsey's head to be the first head to roll and see what they can do at 500 for the rest of the year, because there's, like you said, there's still hope. But yeah, after that, no, I got nothing, man. That's a wrap. We lost this game fair and square. We deserved to lose it. We ended up losing it in the end, even though we could have won it. Nothing else to say. I don't know if I'd feel good if we won this game that way. I mean, I had a football over here. I got up. Whoa, they missed it. And then that bullshit happened, and it was like, you know what?
12 men on the field.
We didn't deserve it anyway.
The guy missed the field goals, and you have 12 men on the football field, and they come back and kick the. How disheartening! How disheartening is that? How big of a coaching blunder is that? Like at the another end of the game blunder again. Kansas City Chiefs again. Like it's like 1,000 ways to die, 1,000 ways to lose. You think of every way you thought you can lose, and the Bills give you another way.
You sunk my fucking battleship. That's what it was. C4.
Hey, Rich, Akeem Richens, my brother Izzy. Built in Buffalo postgame show, postgame reaction. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time. Appreciate everybody for rocking with us too. Great show tonight. Great show, Izzy.
Great show, but fucking why?